Jai Krishna. So Krishna is telling us about the results of the actions in the three modes. Now Krishna is bringing us to a point where he's going to tell us the final destination of people working in the three modes. So let's see that in Shloka number 18. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishthanti rajasaha jaganya gunavrittistha adho gachanti tamasaha. So here it is said, Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha. That is, the person situated in the mode of goodness, they will Urdhvam gachanti. Gachanti is like they will go. They'll go to Urdhvam, they'll go upwards to the higher planets. Madhye tishthanti rajasaha. And the people who are in mode of passion, they will live on this planet. Jaganya guna vrittistha ado gachanti tamasaha. And the ones who are in the abominable mode of ignorance, what will happen? They will go down. They will go down. Ado gachanti. To what? To the hellish worlds. So very clearly, it's talked about the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Mode of goodness, the person will go higher to the higher planets. Mode of passion, they'll remain here. The words are also nicely used. For mode of goodness and mode of ignorance, here Krishna is saying gachanti. They will go. They'll go to higher planets, mode of goodness, and mode of ignorance people, they'll go to hellish worlds. Gachanti, they will go. But for passion, he is saying tishthanti, they will remain. They'll remain where? They'll remain on this planet. That is mode of passion people. Now here it is said that in this verse, the results of actions of three modes of nature are more explicitly set forth. Now there is an upper planetary system consisting of heavenly planets where every one is highly elevated. According to the degree of development of the mode of goodness, the living entity can be transferred to various planets in this system. The highest planet is Satyaloka or Brahmaloka, where the prime person of this universe, Lord Brahma, resides. We have seen already that we can hardly calculate the wondrous condition of life in Brahmaloka, the highest condition of life the mode of goodness can bring to us. See, when it comes to the higher planets, the enjoyment, the happiness that is there, there's no comparison actually. There's no comparison of happiness of this world and that world. No. It's almost like when the higher planetary system people, when they see people on this planet, they almost see us like the way we look at the hogs who are eating stool. They're like, what these people are enjoying? That's how the mood is. Why? Because there the happiness is on a very, very different platform. It goes subtler and subtler as we discussed in previous videos. And the duration of life is long. There's no question of disease, no question of old age. They don't have these miseries. Adi bhautika, adhyatmika, adi daivika. Everything is very favorable to do all enjoyment possible. And for a prolonged enjoyment, like it's almost like you can say permanent enjoyment. Obviously nothing is permanent, but the duration is so long that we can still call it as permanent enjoyment. So sometimes these Devi Devtas, they are called as Amar. They do die, but they're still called Amar because the duration is huge. So a person who is working in the mode of goodness, whose actions are in mode of goodness, he just progresses. He goes up and up and up, and finally, he reaches the higher planetary systems. The final planet is Brahmaloka, and on the planet of Brahma, we have seen what is the lifespan of Brahma: 311 trillion 40 billion years. Now that is the lifespan, we can imagine. And the enjoyment is on the highest platform there. So mode of goodness people will go up. What about mode of passion? Here it's given. Mode of passion is mixed. It is in the middle between the mode of goodness and ignorance. A person is not always pure, but even if he should be purely in mode of passion, he will simply remain on this earth as a king or a rich man. But because there are mixtures, one can also go down. People on this earth in the mode of passion or ignorance cannot forcibly approach the higher planets by machine. In the mode of passion, there's also a chance of becoming mad in the next life. So here, mode of passion means the person is full of anxiety all the time, and in that way when he leaves his body, what will happen? He'll take birth in the group of anxiety people who are always in anxiety, always passionate. So max to max good position that a person can get is he can stay in this, on this planet. But there is a high chance that even a mode of passion person can degrade to ignorance and go to lower planets, go to hellish planets. Because the actions in mode of passion, we never know how many people we are hurting, what we are doing. And those passionate activities which are there, create so much of heat around, and affect so many people. So this mode of passion, max to max the person can become a king or a person on this planet, continuing his mode of passionate activities. So in this way, mode of passion, again, it's very clear that it's not a very good destination. Full of misery, birth, death, old age, disease, adhyatmika, adi, bhautika, adi, daivika kleshas. All these miseries are there. And what about the mode of ignorance? Here it's given. The mode of ignorance, the lowest quality, is abominable. The result of developing ignorance is very, very risky. It is the lowest quality in material nature. Beneath the human level, there are 8 million species of life. Birds, beasts, reptiles, trees, etc. And according to the development of the mode of ignorance, people are brought down to these abominable conditions. The word tamasaha is very significant here. Tamasaha indicates that those who continuously in the mode of ignorance without rising to higher modes, the future is very dark. So there are 84 lakh species, out of which 4 lakh species are human form. Other 80 lakh species which are available, they are in the lower modes. In the lower species, in the animal species, bird species, and even the species of trees and so on and so forth. So when the person is living his life in the mode of ignorance, he has become so manda, his buddhi has become so jada, that finally he gets the body of jada in the next life. Either he becomes a tree, just full of ignorance, and maybe less ignorance is some animal. And he'll continue his animalistic activities. This word tamasaha that is used is pretty significant. Tamasaha means constantly in mode of ignorance. And that is the animal kingdom, or the kingdom of trees, or whatever. Because when it comes to higher modes, yes, people do come to mode of ignorance, but then they don't stay for a long time. They come to ignorance and again bounce back to their mode of goodness or mode of passion or whatever. But people who get to this destination of tamasaha, that is animal kingdom, they'll always remain in the mode of ignorance and their future is very dark. Very dark. And all these 3 modes, they are decided. Krishna is speaking to Uddhava in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he says that these modes are influenced by agama. Which shastra are we hearing? Which shastra? Mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Which shastra are we hearing? Apaha, the water that we drink, the food that we eat. And then praja, what is our association? What sort of association we are in? Desha, where are we living in? Kala, the time of the day that we are working. Karma, our activities. And then janma, our conditioning from birth. And then dhyana, what is our thought process? Mantras, what sort of mantra are we chanting? And samskaras, the varnashrama ceremonies that we undergo from Garbhadhan samskar, from the conception of the child till the end, that is the mrityu samskar or antheshti samskar, that is the cremation or burial. So in this way we understand that we are influenced by so many things. So it's high time that we take up to Krishna consciousness very, very seriously and practice it very, very intensely. Because already, whatever parameters that I just spoke, which Krishna spoke to Uddhava, they are very, very, dicey for all of us. And mostly, these things which Krishna is describing in the age of Kali Yuga, they are mostly in mode of passion ignorance. So high probability that will be driven to passion, become mad, or driven to ignorance and go to some lower species and suffer like anything in the hellish planets. So it's a very important point that we need to understand, that if we want to avoid the lower modes, then we have to pull ourselves to mode of goodness and above by practicing Krishna consciousness, by Shravanam, as we mentioned in the previous video. And in this way we can escape, I'm using the word escape, we can escape these two, that is passion and ignorance, and also we can escape goodness and go to pure goodness. Having said this, now the last section of this particular chapter speaks about how to transcend the 3 modes of material nature. So let's see that in the future videos. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna